So today we're talking about an app called Amphetamine. Really love this app. It's an app that allows you to keep your computer working or running, um, and ensure that it stays logged in or stays without a screensaver enabled. It's a really great app. Really highly recommend it. It's an app that I think a lot of Mac admins use quite a bit. You can download it on the Mac App Store, and I'll put a link to it in the post below. I'm going to go ahead and launch it. Again, I downloaded this from the Mac App Store, and I put a shortcut to it on my desktop. When you first launch Amphetamine, you can see here that it keeps your system awake, right? So super awesome, powerful, and flexible. Keep awake utility for macOS, even with all the features and options. It remains incredibly easy to use. So just summarizing this splash screen here, I'm going to go ahead and press next. We can locate amphetamine right by clicking on this button here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and it brings us right here to this menu option up here. And we can take a look at that actually. So if I click on the amphetamine icon up here, this is it. It looks like a pill shape, right? So it's going on that medical sort of amphetamine sort of like play on things. We can set this to keep our display or keep our system awake indefinitely. We can set it for a specific kind of amount of time, like a few minutes, hours, until a specific or until a specific time. We can say, hey, while these apps are running, always run amphetamine, and while files are downloading. So if you're downloading a large file and you don't want the system to fall asleep, this is a really great way to ensure that that happens. There are some settings here where you can allow the display to go to sleep, but not the computer itself. Allow screen time, screensaver activity. Really great. And you can also get support. You can offer feedback or support. And then, of course, there's even more settings here in the settings panel. I'm going to go ahead and finish going through the wizard here. So next. So what does amphetamine do? So like we highlighted before, amphetamine is keeping your Mac awake. It's called a session. So it's keeping it awake during a session. To start a session, you would click on the amphetamine, and you start a new session right there, right at the top. And then we're going to go ahead and press next. What else does it do? It triggers automate keeping your Mac awake, and based on things like its Wi-Fi connection, battery level, so on and so forth. So you can create warning triggers, which is really cool. We'll go into triggers here once we go into settings. And if you found amphetamine helpful, then let's refer it to a friend. All right, so let's go through the settings here. So we can start a session with shortcuts, which is really powerful. We can have amphetamine launch on login, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. We can start a session automatically upon login, which is really cool. We can set session defaults. We can set specific system controls. We can set triggers, right? So just like we talked about. So we can create a trigger, like trigger on app. And we can say application, and I always want this to be awake when I am using BB Edit, for example. I can allow the display to sleep, and I can even allow the screensaver to run, but I don't want the computer itself to actually go into hibernation mode. So now I've enabled that trigger. We can enable drive alive. So always keep the drive alive. So if there's a specific drive that I don't want to go to sleep, I can, or go into hibernation mode, I can enable that. Hotkeys, really great and powerful. Notifications, of course, really useful, as long as you don't have do not disturb enabled. Appearance, right? So you can change the icon in the menu bar, which is really fun and interesting. And then of course we have statistics. So how long have you been running in a specific session? All in all, a really great app. I'm going to have the link again in the notes down below. I'm also going to include much more in my blog post. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this.